Welcome to the Party Trick Podcast, where we inspire and empower you to elevate every day.
Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about self-care when hosting or attending events. We're recording this in the height of holiday season right before Thanksgiving, but I'm going to tell you, these tips are appropriate year-round. So if you're hosting or attending a lot of events, it's really, really important to take care of yourself. Even if you are an extrovert that gets all of your energy from these events, let me just remind you, take care of yourself. So give yourself extra time. If you're hosting, things always go a lot faster than you realize. So start earlier than you normally would or than you think you might want to. That is actually going to set you up for success so you don't put yourself in that pressure cooker stress kind of stressful environment. The day after, give yourself a little grace. You might have, I call them event hangovers. You don't feel as good, so go a little slower. Sleep in a little bit longer if you can. If you're attending event after event, make sure you're managing your calendar effectively. Give yourself that prep time. Give yourself the getting home time. Give yourself outdoor exercise time, because you will then show up the best version of yourself if you're kind of time blocking with all of these events in mind. I also find when I'm hosting a lot, it's a lot of energy and you're putting yourself kind of on stage. You also, then when people are over, you decide, am I going to go back and go into service mode and kind of help to make sure everyone's happy? Or am I going and actually going to be the host where I'm leading people through? So managing your own expectations will help you choose which role is better for you in that night or that day. And then when you come back after the fact, you're like, okay, cool, I needed more sleep. That was energizing. So I don't. And it really kind of helps take care of that inner self, because you are fully aligned with what's actually happening and going on. A couple of small, tangible things. Prep in advance. I know I said it. I'm going to say it again. The more you can do in advance, the greater success you will have when you are hosting. And that is kind of number one self-care tip, because no one wants to be that stressful hostess who's running around with a chicken head cut off. Tends to be I can put myself in this experience of probably not showing up the best version of myself if I'm in that scenario. I kind of snap. I might snap at my children. I might snap at my friends. And that's unnecessary. And then it creates ramifications that you don't really want to deal with later. Again, if you are attending all these events, a couple things you can do to take care of yourself. Think about your food intake, the food and beverage that you're going to be having during these busy seasons of life. If you know you're going to go out and have a ton of food that maybe doesn't fuel you the way that you normally, eat before you go to the event. Be really careful the day of leading up to it, so you are not going to be wrecking your system, right? So I always like to think, okay, am I going to have a lot of food? What am I getting myself into with that event? And I stage my day so I know that when I show up, I'm either going to be fed in advance so I don't get kind of hangry when I'm there, or I haven't eaten a ton all day to go into a 7-course tasting menu, right? So those are things that I do and would recommend you consider just to take care of yourself a little bit when you are hosting a ton or when you are attending a ton of events. Thanks for joining us.